It's early morning on the eastern shore, and visitors are making their way to Turner's Creek off the Sassafras River. These modern-day adventurists are retracing the steps of Captain John Smith, an English explorer who charted these waters more than 400 years ago in search of riches and a path to the Orient. But instead of silver and gold, their bounty is the scenic beauty and natural surroundings of the newly formed Captain John Smith Trail. Joel Dunn is executive director of the Chesapeake Conservancy.
The Captain John Smith Chesapeake National Historic Trail commemorates John Smith's routes of exploration in the Chesapeake from 1607 to 1609.
The Conservancy is working with the Maryland Department of Natural Resources and others to help develop and promote the trail, a 3,000-mile path through Virginia, D.C., Delaware, and Maryland.
Wow, look at those lotus blossoms. It's a great new resource for modern-day explorers to get out on the Chesapeake Bay and explore its ecological and cultural resources. There are thousands of miles of shoreline in the Chesapeake Bay, but very few miles of that shore are publicly accessible. And the trail is a mechanism to improve public access and to help people to understand what those shorelines look like and how important they are.
Captain John Smith explored and mapped nearly every major tributary of the bay, looking for the fabled Northwest Passage to the Orient, and in the process left a pretty detailed record behind.
Really, the map that Smith made opened the door to English settlement and eventually led to the establishment of the United States of America. So it's a great story, and the trail itself tells that story to the public.
The elusive Northwest Passage never existed, but Smith's relentless quest to find it revealed a highly desirable place to live and build a society. Nearly a century later, that society was beginning to thrive here at Turner's Creek. The area's visitors center is situated in a 1600s-era home known as Knox Folly, and is one of the few structures here still standing from that period. Ranger John Oler is park manager for this area.
The house itself, they started construction in the 1700s by a gentleman named Knox. You're going to see some of the old architecture you would see from the old days. A lot of it has been preserved. The Park Service has worked inside to put some displays to talk about the local Indian tribes that were found in the area, the Native Americans. There's some things on John Smith inside. We also have some natural things that people would see, or some things that maybe the farming community and the water community may have had years and years ago.
Rangers supplement the displays with live demonstrations, where visitors can learn about animals that make this habitat their home.
You want to touch it?
And we have about 1,200 acres here, and it's right on the corner of the Sassafras River where it turns into Turner's Creek. So it's a really beautiful area, mostly farmland, pretty rural, and some forest. It's a really pretty place.
Just north of Turner's Creek in northeast Maryland sits Elk Neck State Park, a multi-use facility on the Elk River. Ranger Josh McGinnis.
Whether it's camping, boating, hiking, fishing, hunting, pretty much anything that you're looking to do in the outdoors, we have it here. People that are just looking to get out on the river, they can launch from our facilities. We've got large picnic areas, so visitors come down with their families or groups, and they'll picnic in the area. They also have access to the swimming beach.
Instead of staying at a hotel, thought we would step outside the box and out of our comfort zone and enjoy a state park.
Mike Simonson and his family are from Ellicott City, Maryland.
We're enjoying some kayaking right now and try to get down here in the morning a little bit early, just because typically the waters are a little more calm, just because we have small children and whatnot. But the shoreline here is a very gradual ledge, going out into the deeper water. So it's, it's just been a very safe beach.
At Elk Neck, visitors can choose from more than 250 campsites with or without electric hookups. In addition, numerous opportunities exist for water activities. But perhaps the most popular and famous feature of this site is the Turkey Point Lighthouse.
The lighthouse was built in the 1800s. It's situated on a 100-foot bluff, so it puts it as the highest lighthouse on the bay, and you can see it from miles around. So we do get a lot of visitors that come out and hike, and people can actually climb the stairs to take a look from the lantern room in the top of the lighthouse.
John Smith and his crew sailed past this area on his trip north. His main voyage ended near what is now Susquehanna State Park. Ranger Chris Todd.
About 2 miles north of here is where he ended, where he stopped. He couldn't get any further than that because of the rocks.
Susquehanna State Park sits at the congruence of the Susquehanna River in the Chesapeake Bay. The Jersey Toll House, once the gateway to the Susquehanna here, now serves as the area visitors center and gift shop. Visitors can also tour the Carter Archer Mansion with its preserved architecture and period furnished rooms.
The Carter Archer Mansion was built by John Stump, and John Carter lived in it. They were both partners in the milling industry back in that era, and they ran this whole area down here.
Stump and Carter's mill provided flour and grain for communities up and down the Susquehanna River. Today, it's the country's only working grist mill and a popular tourist destination. Visitors can also take advantage of the miles of trails that cross the park or parallel the river and provide ample opportunity for spotting wildlife.
A lot of people come here for hiking on the trails, and boating and fishing are amongst many recreational opportunities to do here in the park.
John Smith said that the Chesapeake was a perfect place for man's habitation. And this vision in his writings that he communicated to people back in England, along with the map that he drew of its rivers and the bay itself, opened the door to English settlement.
This leg of John Smith's journey may have ended here in 1608, but the celebration of his explorations continues with the Captain John Smith National Historic Water Trail.
The memories that you establish by taking your family out into a place like this over the weekend this is what people never forget.
It's really important that we recognize this as a national treasure and to get out and enjoy it, because that's the way we're going to get investment from our kids, from our elected officials and others in the future of the Chesapeake, is if they learn to appreciate it and love it as much as I do.
Just as Smith discovered beauty and bountiful resources here in 1608, the Park Service and Maryland DNR hope this trail becomes a tool for today's explorers to experience the wonder and beauty that John Smith found so awe-inspiring more than 400 years ago.